Hi guys, it's SJ. Happy Baby Name Monday. I hope you've had a brilliant weekend. If you are brand new, this is a baby name list. I do these every single Monday on my channel because we all just love baby names here, and I'm doing your most popularly requested one that's been requested so many times, and it is surnames as first names. This is such a massive trend, I think, because we're trying to go a bit more gender neutral with our names, a bit more edgy, a bit more unique, and surnames as first names really give you that option. So I've trawled everywhere and I've got 23 of my absolute favourites, so I will whistle stop tour through them because I've not got rankings. I'm just going to give you the meaning, so I hope you find something you love. Let me know what you would love me to do next week as a theme. And yesterday I uploaded a bonus baby name video, a very special baby name game, so you can go after this and kind of go through it. There's loads of games there, there's viewers dilemmas there for you guys to answer and create your own, generate your own baby name. It was lots of fun to put together, so I do encourage you to go and do that after this, and I'll be naming a star namer over there. Yes, I hope you like that. But let's go through. These are in no particular order, probably the order that I just found them in. So the first one, lots of these names are occupational, and it is the name Carter. So Carter is quite well known as a first name. I just think it is really nice one. It's quite trendy, it's quite simple, it's easy to spell and say, but it sounds really unique. It means cart driver. This name broke into the top 25 list last year in the US. So it's actually one of the most popularly rising ones. What do you think of the name Carter? Does it sound like a good first name to you guys? The next one is one of my all-time favourites on this list. I love it, and it's the name Copeland. Isn't that so lovely? I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I think for a little girl, Copeland is just so special, or for a boy. I just really love the sound of it. To me, it sounds really whimsical and kind of magical vibes. It's Old Norse surname originally, and it means bought land. So Copeland, it's just really lovely. I just think it sounds like really magical, as I said. So one I hadn't thought about but really like. The next one is one that kind of got away from me because David is a big name in my family. So my eldest son's middle name is David, but I absolutely love Davis. So Davis is a really common surname. I know loads of people with the surname Davis, but as a first name, it sounds so good. Like, it's a really good way to honour a David in your family. And David means beloved, which is such a lovely meaning. The name David is lovely, but it's so well used, and it might be that, like me and my family, I've got 2 other Davids, so I wouldn't have used it as a first, but I really wish I'd gone for Davis instead of David, because I just think it sounds really edgy and cool, and a good way of using that V. What do you reckon of Davis? I really like it. Next up is the name HENDRIX. So my really good friend Georgia, I will link her below. She has a lovely Instagram. She's a really young single mum. She just had her second baby boy and called him HENDRIX, and I love it. My husband is called Henrik, and he really often gets called HENDRIX, which always makes me laugh because it's such a cool name. Not that he's not cool, but he's much more of a Henrik. So it's got that strong Scrabble letter, the X that lots of people like, same as Davis. But yeah, obviously it's guitar legend Jimi Hendrix, which springs immediately to mind. So it's a real rock star type of name. Apparently it means estate ruler, so it's actually quite upper class Hendrix, but to me it's much more sort of down and dirty and edgy. But what do you reckon of it? The next one I think is a boy name probably, but it's the name Smith. I love Smith as a first name, probably because of Sex and the City's Smith, who was absolutely gorgeous, and just sounded so edgy and cool. And often you use people's surnames as their first name in a nickname way, but why not go with Smith right off the bat and go with something that really trendy and different? I think you'd get a few raised eyebrows, but people would fall in love with it. And the Smiths are such a cool band. Do you know a Smith, or do you think that just sounds weird? Obviously Smith, again, is an occupational name for blacksmiths. Next is the name Miller. So obviously there's Sienna Miller, who I love, one of my favourite actresses, not more fashion-ista than her movies, sorry Sienna. But I love Miller. It's so nice. Again, another occupational name. It means grinder of grain, so it's really earthy and naturey. I think it really suits a kind of outdoor hippie boho-y girl as well, very Sienna. But I really like the name Miller. What do you think? I could see it for a boy or a girl. I like Mills as a little nickname as well, it would be cute. The next name is one I've mentioned before, and it is the name PENN. So there are a few celebrities named Penn, the guy from Gossip Girl and the magician, the only two I can think of right now, but it's an unusual one. But if you were after a literary, writery type of name, you could go with Penn and be quite unusual. Obviously it could be a nickname for Penny or Penelope or something like that as well, but it is an English surname meaning enclosure originally. Oh, I just got that, a pen. I know that. But yeah, history buffs, writers, photographers, you might really like this name. Yeah, so what do you think of the name Penn? Would you use it, or does it just sound really odd to you because it is like a word name as well? Sawyer is a really popular surname as first name. It is just such a lovely one. It is an outdoorsy one again. It is the occupational surname for woodcutters, Sawyer. So I really like it. I did talk about this actually when I was thinking about a name for maybe Evelina, Sawyer. I really liked it, but my friend thought I was saying Sawyer as in like soya bean. So I don't know if I say it funny or Sawyer, or if it's just the same word spelled two different ways. But she was like, what, like soya latte? I was like, because I always have soya lattes. So I was like, oh yeah, maybe. But I really like the name Sawyer. I know of a guy at school who had the surname Sawyer, so it's funny that it reminds me of him. But I think it's a really popular one amongst you guys, so do give Sawyer a thumbs up if you like it. Avery is a British surname that's used quite a lot now as a first name, and it's the coolest meaning because it means ruler of elves. It's been rising like massively for girls at the moment, and I just think it is such a beautiful name. Avery, with like Emily, all that kind of vibes of really pretty names, but Avery just sounds super adorable. Amelie, like it's kind of got something special about it with the V. Avery, I think it's super duper wearable as well, and I love the name meaning. It's a good Christmassy one, ruler of elves. If you're having a December baby, a good reason to use it. Next is a name that you guys love. It's brought up by you guys a lot on my channel, and it is the surname Bellamy, but as a first name Bellamy. So I've seen this a lot in my comments. It means fine friends. Bella obviously is an easy nickname, or Belle, but Bellamy for a boy, I think it sounds really good. For me it's more masculine, but what do you think, Bellamy? Is it more boy or more girl for you? And what do you think of the name in general? For me, I can't get past David Bellamy, if anyone's British. David Bellamy was like a kind of nature TV show guy when I was younger, so just literally a bearded man comes to mind. So next up is the name I absolutely love, and it's the name Cassidy. I know we have a Cassidy viewer here, so hi Cassidy if you're watching. I always say, I love your name, or whenever you reply, whenever you make a comment. So Cassidy, yeah, I absolutely love it. Apparently it's an Irish surname and it means curly haired. So how cute is that? I've always liked the name Cassie for a girl. I just think it sounds lovely, and Cassidy I think could be for a boy or a girl. I just think it's really gorgeous. I love long girl names, so for me it feels girly like that. But I don't know, what do you think? It's been used by Kathy Lee Gifford as her son's name, so it definitely can work for either boy or girl. And you think of Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid, if that's the right one. So it has got that western cool to it as well. So yeah, Cassidy, that's one of my favorites. Oh, the next one's also a favorite of mine, and it's the name Emerson. So I'm trying to stay away from all of these ending in son, but obviously SON is the traditional ending for surnames because you were the son of either the profession or the first name. Emerson is a really brilliant name. I think Emerson Rose for a long time before I had kids was actually one of my top names. I always loved Emerson Rose, and there's a little boy who lives on my road called Emerson, and I think it is so adorable. Obviously it could be Emma, Emily. For a boy, just Emerson sounds so good as well. Apparently it's a German surname originally, meant son of Emery. Emery is a great nickname as well, isn't it, for a little boy? So yes, I think it is an amazing one. Harlow is next, and again I absolutely love it. I love House of Harlow. The jewelry line is quite like a hippie retro jewelry line, so I always think of Harlow like that. And there was obviously Jean Harlow, the 1930s actress, so Jean Harlow really does bring that retro glam to the name Harlow. It means army, which I didn't know, which is quite cool. So if you are a military family and looking to honour that, then Harlow is a great choice for you as well. But I just think it's lovely. I think Low is such a pretty little nickname, and I've always liked that as well. So yeah, Harlow would be on my choices. You know that Marlowe was one of my favourite names. Didn't take it to Harlow. I should have done. Take it to Harlow. Madigan, what do you think of Madigan? Obviously Madison is so popular, but Madigan was coming up and I just thought, how cool is that? If you're looking for something really, really different. And it means little dog. So how adorable is Madigan with little dog? I always used to call Freddie Puppy as his nickname for so long, because they are just like little puppies, aren't they, little babies? So Madigan, I think is really gorgeous. I think Maddie is such a lovely nickname for boys or girls. I have a friend with a Maddox who she calls Maddie, and I've got a friend with a Madison who she calls Maddie. So yeah, you could go with it. Bexley is next. So Bexley reminds me of Bexley Heath here in London, but Bexley I think is such a lovely name. Again, I think for boys or girls. It's a place name as well around the world. So apparently Ohio, Columbus, we all have a Bexley. So what do you think of Bexley? Do you think it works as a name? I think it's one that you guys might really love. I think it's not unusual, it's not weird. It just sounds really, really cool with the X in it as well. Similar to that is one I've mentioned before as a hipster name, and it's the name Brooks. I love it. It's got that outdoorsy vibe to it. Brooks is such a New Yorky one. I always think of things as New Yorky. I need to go back to New York one day. But yeah, it is a word name. It is like Brooklyn, obviously was so popular after Victoria and David Beckham chose it, that Brooks is kind of like a good alternative to it. Brooke obviously is for boys or girls, so Brooks could be for either as well. So yes, I think that Brooks is just a really trendy one for me and a really good surname to consider for a first name, and it's lovely how it ends in the S. How about Donovan? It's an Irish surname originally, so I do know a lot of people with the surname Donovan. Jason Donovan, don't know him, but you know, we know of him obviously. But Donovan is one that really is a good one to consider if you are having a baby or naming a sim. I've got your back. What about, this is an unusual one, Field. So Field is a popular surname. Obviously it used to be something to locate people. Your surname was often where you lived. So this is just a simplified one and it's just Field. Quite hard to find you. But I just thought that Field sounds really lovely as a first name. Maybe a middle slot because it's quite unusual. But yeah, Field, because Forest is really, really popular. It's one of my crushes of all time. But we're looking for a kind of like naturey name that's a bit more unusual, then Field could be a really good option, or Fielder, of course, with the ER might make it a little bit less like quirky, because Fielder sounds a bit more like a surname. But yeah, what do you think? Would you go Field or Fielder? Huxley is a bit like Bexley, but I really like it. Yeah, obviously it's Aldous Huxley. If you're looking for a literary surname, Huxley works really, really well. It just really seems on trend with Hunter being so popular, and those Hudson and all of those Hugo, that strong we like it. Hux and Huck are really cool nicknames for it as well, but I really liked Huxley. Really popular one, Lennon. Obviously the surname of John Lennon, a female and male name. Lennon is really on the rise at the moment, and why not? It's lovely, and Lenny is such a lovely nickname for it as well. If you're looking for something slightly less used, you could go Lawson. So Lawson is getting popularity as well. It's a S-O-N ending, so a bit like a Hudson or a Jackson, but Lawson is much more unusual and it's used quite popularly here on YouTube. There's lots of mummy yummies, yummy with the surname Lawson as a first name. I could never use it because my boss was surnamed Lawson and everyone called him Lawson. That was like his nickname as well, so it really is associated with him, but it sounds really cool. Okay, so next two are quite unusual ones. So this came up in a list, and so I thought I'd put it in there because I kind of liked it, but it's really weird, and it is the name O'Hara. So would you ever go with like an apostrophe first name? Like I've got a double-barreled first name, so I'm Sarah Jane, which is kind of hard enough, that O'Hara is quite hard, but it could be really cool, couldn't it? Last up is one of my favorites again, and it is Winslet. So I really like this. I like Winslet and I like Winslow, but Winslet, obviously British actress Kate Winslet, who I absolutely adore. But it sounds just so lovely, doesn't it? It sounds very fairy, magical, whimsical, hippie-ish, outdoorsy again, all the things that I love about every single baby name. So Winslet, yes, it is starting to get used a little bit as a first name. It's so well known as a last name, and I just think it's pretty as anything. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was a lot of baby names in a short amount of time. So hope you jotted them down. Let me know any you would add to these in the comment section below, and I hope you find something you loved on this list. Don't forget, if you want to join in a bit more, make sure you're subscribed. Then you can go to my community tab and join in our community challenges. The first one was live yesterday, so I will link it here so it comes up at the end and you can click on that and have a play along as well for a bit of extra baby name fun for your Monday, you know. That's what we're all into. And I will see you later on in the week for some more videos, and next week for Baby Name Monday. Bye guys.